You may have seen wonderful pictures of food cooked in a Dutch oven on Instagram or in cooking magazines, and believe me, they really look good. And they're convenient. One pot, good and done. So you decide that you want a Dutch oven, and you start looking around. And all of a sudden you realize there are a lot of choices. And you may not know which Dutch oven you want. You may not know which type of Dutch oven you want or best fits your needs. So today, on Dickin' Around Outdoors, we're going to talk about the different types of Dutch ovens that you can buy, what they're good for, what they're not so good for, and what might be the best Dutch oven type for you that fits your budget and does the kind of cooking you want to do. So stick around and let's take a look at these ovens. By far, the most popular style of oven over the last few years has been the enameled cast iron. And the enameled cast iron oven that most people think of first is Le Creuset, which is what this oven is. And this is a very typical and very popular style of oven, being round with the actual handles cast into the oven. That works really well for the home cook. It's very easy to use on the stovetop and also to take in and out of the oven. So folks really like this design. So there's a couple reasons for the popularity. One is they're just quite good looking ovens, and people like to be surrounded by beautiful things. But more importantly, they're extremely nice to cook in. The glass enamel does a couple things that make this oven, I would say, easier for the average home cook to use relative to a non-coated cast iron. One is it's very easy to clean. As long as you follow the rules, or follow the guidelines I should say, and don't crank up the heat, you don't tend to burn things in these. They clean up extremely well with just soap and water. You don't have to baby them. And number two, they don't react with acidic foods. So you don't end up getting a metallic taste in your food if you're simmering tomato sauces or that sort of thing. So they're just all around great to cook in and very easy to use. Other benefits, particularly of the two big French brands, which are Le Creuset and Staub, is that they come in a lot of different sizes. So you can find the size that fits your cooking need, your family size. Primarily for a normal family, the 5.5 to 7 quart oven is what's recommended, but you can go all the way up to 13 quarts and as low as 3/4 of a quart. So you have a lot of choices in these ovens. And the other is a tremendous amount of color choices. So if you're really looking for size and color, the two French brands are good. Problem with them is they're very expensive. They're made in the EU, they have lifetime warranties, they have a long legacy of success, and that comes with a price. If you'd like to get into the enamel Dutch ovens and don't want to spend so much money, there are alternatives. And I think the alternatives cook just as well as these ovens. Now they're not as durable, they tend to be heavier, but they're much less expensive. You can get into an oven in the 6-quart size for under $100 if you catch a sale from Lodge. There's also Cuisinart, Tramontina, so there are options. But I will say that if you do choose the cheaper option, you will not get an oven that's as durable. You may get some chipping on the enamel. They won't be considered sort of an heirloom product like the Staub and Le Creuset. The other thing that you have to decide between those two brands in particularly is the color of the enamel inside. So a lot of folks, America's Test Kitchen, guys like that, tend to like the Le Creuset because it has a light colored interior. However, if you look inside the oven, you can see that it does stain, and that does not come out. Doesn't affect the cooking at all, but it does stain, and if you're somebody that wants your pans to always look spick and span and brand new, you just need to be aware of that. Now another choice that you have in enamel Dutch ovens is shape. This example from Staub is an oval oven, which is really good for cooking things like whole chickens or oblong cuts of meat, such as a pork loin or something like that. They're just sort of designed for that type of cooking. Where these fall behind, I think, the round ones a bit, is for stovetop use. So if you have a round burner in an oblong pan, you don't concentrate the heat as well, and cast iron being not a great conductor of heat, it just doesn't cook on the stovetop as well. Put this in the oven, no problem at all. So if you do a lot of poultry cooking or shapes of meat that don't fit a round oven, certainly the oval would be in play, but I think your first go-to would be round. One other thing to notice on this stove is that it has a metal handle, unlike that Le Creuset. Now that's an older one that came with a plastic handle. You can get metal now, but if you do bread cooking, and these things excel at bread cooking, you want a handle that will handle up to 500 degrees, so you want a metal handle. One last enameled cast iron oven that I think is worth mentioning, and that is this 5.5 quart oven from Burrow Furnace, which is located in New York. This is the only enameled Dutch oven that's made in the United States of America 100%. All of their castings are done in either New York or Wisconsin, and all of the enameling is done in-house in New York. They're not always available. They tend to sell out quickly. So if you're interested, get on the waiting list. I think they cook wonderfully, and so far it's been extremely durable. And one unique design feature that Burrow has is that instead of having a screw-on handle on the lid, they've actually cast the handle directly into the oven, so it is oven-proof. It will never come loose. It's just so far been a great oven, and I wanted to mention that. So the last two ovens that we're going to cover, we came outside because I think, in my mind, these are outside cookers. Before we do that, though, I do want to mention that if you do like cooking in naked cast iron, if you don't mind the maintenance, then Lodge does make the traditional round oven with the cast-in handles. So as long as you don't mind the maintenance, they are available from Lodge. So as I mentioned, the last two ovens that we have to cover, I think, are better for outside cooking. Both are from Lodge and both are naked cast iron. When we talk about outdoor cooking, we're talking about cooking over a fire, whether it's a campfire or a grill, and the Dutch oven needs to be designed for that type of cooking. So the bale-handled oven from Lodge has a couple unique features for outdoor cooking. First one is the lid itself has the pips. So that is designed to concentrate condensation on the lid and drip it back down into the stew. This also implies that this is made for liquid cooking, wet cooking, that type of thing where you're getting condensation on the lid. Another clue that this is an oven made for stews and that type of thing is the fact that it has a flat bottom. Now this is designed so that it can sit on a camp stove, it can sit on a grate over a fire. It is naked cast iron, so heat's not a problem for this thing. But what really makes this great for outdoor cooking is this handle with the bale on it. So it's a wire handle with a bale. It does not have the molded in handles. Now that is a detriment when it comes to cooking in the house, as you can imagine trying to get this in and out of the oven with this handle, or camera lady trying to grab the Dutch oven this way and lift it out of the oven becomes very cumbersome. But when you're talking about using it over a fire, this is a big benefit. And the reason it's a benefit is that when you are placing an oven on the fire, if you think about the way you would have to do it if you had just the two handles, in fact, let me show you. I'm going to just open my grill. So imagine if there was a flaming fire in this grill and I wanted to place this Dutch oven into the grill. If it had the handles that we saw earlier molded into the oven, which are perfect for indoors, this becomes a detriment because I'm reaching with both hands over the fire and I'm leaning my face in. Now imagine this was a campfire. It would be even harder to do this and avoid, burns and that kind of thing, or at least try to eliminate them. So with this Dutch oven with the bale handle, I can stand away from the fire, reach in with one hand, and set the oven down. So that's the first advantage for cooking outdoors. The second advantage, let's say I've got my chili done or my roast is cooked and I want to go ahead and take it in the house. Now this isn't just as easy as going from the stove to the counter or the table. I now have to carry this a further distance, probably have to open a door and walk in. Now imagine trying to do that when I have a hot Dutch oven full of food with 2 handles. I'm trying to open the door with my elbow or something like that. With this type of Dutch oven, I simply grab it in one hand. I've got my other hand free to open doors, to pick up other items, whatever it takes, I keep a hand free. So those combined make this an excellent oven if you are only cooking with heat from the bottom for outdoor cooking. Now the last type of Dutch oven I want to talk about today is really a unique design, and it is designed for very specific purposes. This is the 10-inch deep lodge camp oven, and it has features that are designed specifically for outdoor cooking. First feature that you see is the lid has no pips on it. And the advantage of this is you can simply turn this over, set it on a grate over the fire, and you have a sort of convex frying pan. So that's the first item. The second item on the lid is the fact that it has a raised ridge around the outside of the lid. That is specifically designed to hold embers or charcoal so that you can put heat on the top of this oven and radiate it down into the oven. So it truly becomes an oven inside here. You have heat from the top, you have heat from the bottom. The bottom of this oven is unique as well. As you can see, it has 3 legs molded into the cast. And these legs are designed to raise this oven over hot coals. So you can put embers under there, you can put briquettes or any sort of other charcoal under there, and it allows you to generate heat from the bottom. So when you get the lid on, you have heat from the bottom, you have heat from the top. You can bake bread in this, you can make stews, roast meat. Basically anything you want to do in any type of cooking in the outdoors, you can do on this oven. The other unique feature is, like the bail handle, this has a wire handle, but it does not have the bail. And the reason it doesn't have the bail is this is designed to hang on a tripod over a fire so that you can hang this up, you can make your stews, that kind of thing, and cook from the bottom. So this is just really a design that I hope you've seen in some of my videos, because I cook in these a lot. If you haven't, check those out. They're really interesting if you want to learn how to use one of these Dutch ovens. So for outdoor cooking, this is the sort of be-all end-all. If you want to use just a grate or a camp oven, the bail handle is a great design if you're not baking and needing heat from the top. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this primer on Dutch oven types. I hope it helps you make a decision if you're looking at one. I am open for any questions that you might have, so just ping me in the comments. I'd be happy to answer questions. So thanks for watching. We always appreciate it. If you like the content, please share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to hit the subscription button in the lower right-hand corner. And as always, take care, and we'll see you outdoors.